Hi, I'm Natasha Lockhart. With the new year starting, it's time to work on some of those resolutions.
I'm Stacy Beck. We're going to talk about life-changing ideas with one of our favorite people.
I'm Angie Murphy. We're also going to talk about how to keep yourself active even in those later years.
The new year is here and we've got high hopes for our future. All this and more is coming up on Studio Chatter. Welcome to Studio Chatter. We made it through the holidays. Let's take a vacation.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Okay, where are we going?
We're going to Mexico next month.
You are?
Yeah.
How long have you had that planned?
I think we booked it in November.
Okay, so was
that's not
that
very long.
Like an impromptu thing? Like you're tired
No,
of...
Chris is done. He's like, we're going to go somewhere sunny on a beach. So when do you want to go?
So just you two?
And a couple of our friends that we go do
so
our
nice.
beach vacations with. So yeah, we're going to go
Super
to Mexico.
And where are you staying? Like somewhere all-inclusive? Or?
Yep, all inclusive.
Okay.
Because I think a lot of the resorts are only doing 30 to 50% capacity.
Which is so
So that's
great.
going to be super great. And we're not right in Cancun. We're south in Playa del Carmen and all inclusive. So I think we'll just spend 7 days laying there on the beach.
That sounds
So-
like heaven.
Well, good for you. Maybe
Yeah.
it's a guy thing.
That they just want to get out and chill out on the beach. I mean, I do love it, but I also love a vacation where you're like going and going to museums and seeing things.
Right?
Yeah.
So
Keep
I like
asked me
the
that the other
culture
day,
of the
too.
place.
yeah.
He's like, are you ready to go? And I said, I think I'm ready to go, but my anxiety is, of course, is leaving the kids. So we haven't booked
Not
anything.
quite.
Because you haven't quite made it out to a restaurant yet.
I
so
know,
baby
baby steps.
We're working on her. We went and saw a movie.
You did? What did you see?
We saw Wonder Woman.
What did you think?
I'm pretty easily entertained at the movie theater.
Someone said that they didn't love it, but to form my own opinion.
Yeah, I mean,
I thought it was great.
my kids said we like Marvel better because this is DC.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, the kids were like, yeah. So,
But I just
Chris
love
and I
a
were
movie.
easily entertained.
Yeah.
And I know you can watch it on HBO because you watched it on
We watched it at home.
HBO Max. Then another movie, I think it's Midnight Sky with George Clooney. That's also in the theater, but you can watch that on Netflix for free.
Yep.
So would you guys rather stay at home and watch it or go to the theater?
Go to the theater.
Okay.
I like the out. And I
Okay,
love the popcorn and the chairs.
Yeah.
Though it's convenient to be at home, and I'll
It
probably
is.
watch it at home.
Especially when it's like 30 degrees
Yes.
outside on a cold winter night.
Yeah, I think it's both. I mean, date nights are so super fun at the theater, but it's really awesome too when you have the kids at home because they have their big floppy, body pillow
Yeah.
things. Mom.
Don't have to
Yeah.
really get ready and can just
Right,
like, yeah.
right. And you can
There-
take your
yeah.
potty
Enjoy it.
breaks when you want to, which is, good and bad. Or
So do you think it'll go back to the way it was once
traditional
COVID?
movie theaters? Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Because
Yeah.
they need to make the money, right?
Oh,
They're
yes.
taking a
Absolutely.
huge
Well, and
cut.
I think that people are dying to really get out.
Yeah.
I think that we're tired of being stuck inside, but everyone's kind of on this weird place where it's like, am I okay to go out? Am I not? Like when you go to a restaurant, we were kind of talking about
Yeah.
like how you're wearing a mask into it, but then you go and sit down and you're not really on it. I kind of feel like we're going to start pushing more that direction where people are kind of tired of it.
Well, it is
They're
weird.
trying to be good, but
We went to, is it Wingnuts over by Walmart a couple weeks ago? And our table was like within 6 feet of the door. So we had our masks on, we walk in, sit down and take our masks off.
Yeah.
But then we go to leave and I'm like, am I supposed to put my mask on to walk right through that door?
Right.
Yes.
It's just crazy.
Well, and I think it's difficult also, no matter where you go. I think the employees having to be like the mask police, like it's,
Which nobody wants to be.
No.
No.
But like I wondered that too with our dental office, like we have to take temperatures, wipe things down, have them sign consent forms. I'm wondering how long we have to do that.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
How does it I don't know. And then we just got word too, also vaccines, those are
Right.
available. And then will that change
Are you
things?
guys
Will that
kind of-
loosen the load?
Yeah, interested to see how different 21 is to 20. Do
Yeah.
you foresee it to be like it
The day
like
after,
just
right?
tons different, or like it'll be kind of slow in the beginning and then
I
kind
hope
of
it just
pick up
feels
later?
good, like right off the bat. I really do. But I don't. I think
feel
it's
good
going to
right
be.
off the bat.
I think it's going to be a slow transition.
It'll be a
I think
slow
so, too.
transition. It has to be,
Yep.
really. I mean, I don't know.
But at least we know like what to expect. Last year, I think we went into this new decade with such high hopes, and then we were hit that
Slammed
brick
in the
wall
face.
in March.
Yep.
But now, I think it'll be easier to like be slow and then kind of ramp
Like our
up the year.
expectations are just so low right now.
Yeah.
So anything's gonna be great.
We hope.
That's what I feel
Yeah.
like.
So Christmas was great at both of your households.
Yes, it was a little different, but not a ton for us.
Yeah.
Just a
Low-key?
little less family.
We usually go with Rhett's side of the family on Christmas Eve. I mean, we still went with mine, and my sister rented a theater, and we all got to go watch a movie all together, which was fun because the babies were kind of running around,
Yeah.
and it just felt good, like we were at someone's home, but not.
Yeah.
But Rhett's family didn't get together. Only the two families that had all had COVID went with Rhett's parents because they're just trying to be really careful.
Mm-hmm.
So I had all my kids for the first time at my home hosting, and
Oh, wow.
it
And
was
it felt
nice.
good.
It did. It felt just like more low key, like just relaxing.
Yeah,
Not
I
to have to
agree.
jump around.
What about you?
Yeah, we distanced from my parents this year. So that was a little different for us. It was just the four of us. It was, you know what, though? It was
good?
It was good. Yep.
Was it hard on your parents?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure.
Possibly harder
I'm
on them
sure.
than you?
Probably. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. I mean, that's always the exciting part, right? Is to watch the kids and
Right.
that's definitely the best
And we have
part.
a lot going on in our worlds, and they don't have as much. So I think they really look forward to those times,
Yeah.
the holidays and being together.
I have to say, technology this year was certainly appreciated because
Agreed.
we literally were, every unwrapping and everything that they reacted to. We shared that with the
So you were on
grandparents.
FaceTime the whole time?
Literally all day. So that was super fun.
Oh, good.
We
That
just
has
hung out
been
in our
nice.
jammies and had a great time. So.
And how do you like the 2-week break? How was that?
Really, it's been great, and I can't believe that it's nearly over and going into the new year. I mean, I have my moments when it's like, oh my word, isn't it time to go back to school yet? But,
Yeah.
Right.
but it's been nice to enjoy the kids also. And have
Are
our
they ready?
minutes. And we both.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they enjoy the downtime, but they're busy kids too. So we've had all sorts of fun. And
Oh, good.
Well, in the high
Different
school, we'll go back
activities.
to everyone at school, so I'm
they
interested
will?
to see how that
Oh.
rolls out. Yeah, everyone
Okay.
starting January 4th will show up.
Geez, when we meet up again, there could be some changes
Yeah.
here in January.
Yep.
And the next time we meet up, I won't ask you now because I know that I'm putting some thought into mine, but I expect you ladies, maybe you already do, have a new word for 2021.
Yeah, I'd like to think about it.
Yeah. I have a little, I guess, mantra. Would that be it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I'm going with that.
Okay.
With not just a word.
Okay, we'll share
A
that
thought.
next time.
Yeah, a thought.
Okay. Next on Studio Chatter, Station 62 is open for business. Stay with us. Welcome back to Studio Chatter. For years, our city has been serviced by one fire station, but that's changing now. Let's learn how that's going to work. Welcome Lieutenant Christina Reed of the Public Safety Department to the table. Welcome.
Hello, Lieutenant.
Hi.
And Christina, Lieutenant. Tell us about that, being a lieutenant. When did that happen?
So we just reorganized about 2 years ago. They hired Ryan Baum as the deputy chief. And then about 6 months ago, they reorganized and did 6 lieutenants. So they put in 3 first, and then they went to 3 more this last couple months. So
But
about
how long
6
have you
months ago.
been there?
I've been there 22 years. You can
Oh
age
my
me.
heavens.
I cannot fathom doing what you guys do. Absolutely. Like,
It's
I'm
a
a
scary-
Band-Aid mom, so like beyond that, you guys amaze me. Thank
I
you.
agree.
Thanks.
Yes, I agree with that.
It's actually a passion, and you have a love for it. And
I was going to
it
say, you
just
must like love
runs.
it from the bottom
Oh,
of
yeah.
your heart.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's
And-
awesome. An awesome career.
Explain to me a little bit, captain, lieutenant, chief, like what does those titles mean, or what do you do that
So the
correlates
deputy
with that?
chief, he actually is over fire, well, he will be over fire and EMS eventually. So he is our ambulance captain. They do call him deputy chief, but they start with usually 2 captains, and when they organized that a long time ago, like years ago, like 10 years ago, they started with captains as, I don't know if you remember Don Thomas.
Yes.
So he was the ambulance captain for about 10 years. And then when they reorganized, they made Ryan the deputy chief, and then they started with, they had already put us in as captains, and so they kind of started that line of that's full-time EMS. Fire, EMS, and so they did captains first, and then they decided to restructure it so that when they do the 2 captains, they will be full-time positions instead of part-time positions.
So
And so they restructured and did us lieutenants instead, and so
I don't know how you
two
keep track of
lieutenants,
all
and
that.
then
So a lot of our residents think it's still volunteer fire.
Yes.
Is that
Correct.
a myth or is that fact?
so fire, yes,
'Kay.
it is still volunteer.
Okay.
Strictly 100% volunteer.
Wow.
Yeah.
The EMS is not.
EMS is not. So we are still 2 agencies, which most departments in the state are not.
Okay.
So we are 2, still separate. We were volunteer until about 5 or 6 years ago, and then we went part-time. So we are part-time employees. And we run shifts from 7 in the morning till 7 at night for day shift, and 7 at night to 7 in the morning for
So
night shift.
12-hour shifts.
So 12-hour shifts.
And then are you at the station or are you kind of on an on-call basis?
So starting January 1, we will change that. Right now, we are 7 in the morning till 12 at night at the station, only at the bottom station, so 6-1.
Okay.
And with the opening of 6-2 on Friday, we will go 24 hours.
She said the 6
Six,
too.
two.
So why are
Okay.
it's
Yeah,
station
yeah,
61 and 62, but you're calling
Correct.
it 6162?
Yep.
What's
So
Why?
we will be station 6-1. We've always been 6-1 because that's your call number for the city.
not
So we're
61?
6, right? So we're
But it's 6-1. Will you explain why
6J.
6? I know
So-
that, but this is a cool.
yeah. So
Little
they
side thing.
when the state did that, they did it in city order, and so we're 6.
So Spanish Fork in Utah County, right?
Is-
In the
yes,
county,
in the county, yes.
was the 6th city to get a fire station. So
Right.
we were number 6, and so Main Street is 6-1, but now we're still in Spanish
So
Fork.
it's not
that's
61 like we have 61
No,
facilities.
no.
It's actually
Yeah.
6. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, I love that.
Yeah.
Now we know.
Yeah.
So Christina,
Yeah.
we had that beautiful ribbon cutting back in September.
Correct.
And
We all thought that it was
it was
opening.
yes.
I was confused.
Yeah, it was
What
a little
happened?
confusing for
behind.
everyone.
So will you explain
So
to everyone?
lovely COVID put us a little far back.
okay.
So we also went down from having 3 ambulances to 2 ambulances. We had 1 totaled in the summer. So we had ordered 2 new ambulances that should have already been here. They won't even be here until January, middle of January now because of COVID, because they shut down the factories, so they weren't making them. And so now we went down to 1 ambulance at one point because we had another ambulance that just had problems. we were struggling
super
for a few
interesting.
months. So, but now we are back to 3. We have one of our brand new ones here already. So we do have 3 ambulances. So that was the delay. We didn't have enough. We didn't even have enough to run out of 1 station, let alone out of 2. And then with staffing, it took us a while to staff to get that many members to be able to run out of 2 stations.
Have you
and
had to
full-time.
do any hiring?
Yeah, we've hired probably 10 to 12 members.
Oh, okay.
So that took us from about 34. We're already at 42.
Okay.
But we hired a few in between that, so we usually run about
Lots of-
34.
lots of new training
yes, but
then.
now we're.
How many
we've got-
people are volunteer versus hired?
So fire is strictly volunteer, and they've got 34 members. Ambulance department's part-time. We have 42.
And everyone's
Wow.
paid
Good.
with.
And we're
everyone's paid
still
with the ambulance.
hiring about 3 to 4 more
Okay.
to be
But-
full.
And so how do you, I guess, how do you become an ambulance person? I don't even know what to call them.
So we're
Like,
EMTs.
Are you certified?
We are
Yes.
certified state
Okay.
EMTs. You can either become a basic or an advanced in the state of Utah, and then you can also do your paramedic.
And how long does it
we
take
are an
to acquire
advanced
that?
city, though.
Okay.
We run as an advanced agency, not as a paramedic unit yet. And
Which is
that's-
more schooling and more,
Yeah, it's
Okay.
about another year.
wow.
So
And volunteer fire
volunteer
is
fire.
just
So they
volunteer
still
fire, but you have to go through training to be a volunteer
right,
for that as well,
yeah.
correct?
They do a Fire 1, Fire
Okay.
2 school, other training.
Because I
I'm
see
not
that
quite
sign
sure.
also.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
I see that at the new 6-2.
Right.
Ooh,
I just wanted to say
6'2".
6'2". Well, I'm always,
We're
my interest
excited.
is always piqued because I'm passing those crossroads all the time, and you think of a full firehouse, you know, and I've
Right.
wondered that also. I'm like, ooh, is that like a full working firehouse? Are there
It will
big
be.
beds in
That
there,
will be.
people in there?
Yeah,
like, do
there
they
are.
It will
stay
be.
there? And that is so
Yeah.
awesome.
It looks
That's-
so pretty. I want to tour it.
So,
It's gorgeous. You should
Christina,
come up.
tell us about the scheduling from Main Street Fire Station to Station 6-2.
So we will run 2 ambulances during the day shift from 7 in the morning till 10 o'clock at night. We will run 2 rigs, so we'll staff them fully. 1 at 1 station. 6-2 will be staffed 24 hours a day So it does have sleeping quarters. It's gorgeous. It's super nice. It has anything you can dream of.
Wow.
We've actually had several people from the state, other chiefs come down and other agencies, and they're super jealous because they're like, this is gorgeous. Like,
It really is.
We literally have everything in it that we could ever
Well,
dream
from
of.
the outside, the exterior, it's breathtaking. Like, it's really beautiful.
I love the red. They did the new ambulances. I don't know if you've seen one of them. Our new one is white with the red stripes. So the new city
You're going
colors.
to have to invite
it's beautiful.
us
Yeah.
to take a tour.
Yeah.
Do you have one of the cool, like,
It's got the new strobes, the new lights.
that you
They don't have a pole.
No.
Because there's no other.
No, they don't do that anymore.
No.
Wow, did I just really date myself?
No.
So what I liked about the scheduling as well is that there's not going to be 15 of you at 6-1 and another
No.
15 at 6-2. That
So-
you'll do sometime at 6-1, sometime at 6-2, then your time off, right?
Yes, so we will rotate. So we will be on 2 days, off 4, on 2 12s for day shift, on 2 12s for night shift. From day shift, they will stay 7 to 7 during the day, and then night shift will come on in station 6-2 and run 7 to 7. So that station will be fully staffed. And then at station 6-1, we will run from 7 in the morning till 10 o'clock at night. And then at that second crew at night, we just don't have the call volume from 10 to 7 in the morning to run 2 ambulances right now. So they'll go home.
That's
And then still be on call, but they'll just respond from home out of that second station.
And how
from
much
10 to
time
7.
do you think having Station 6-2 will cut off your time getting to someone on the east side? Like
Tremendous amount.
to 6
Oh yeah,
minutes?
easy 5 to 6 minutes. So we
Yeah.
could be out the door, a lot of times we can be out the door in 30 seconds, sometimes at night, a minute. So long enough for people to get dressed in the night, you know.
Well, about a
So
year and a half ago, my husband, we thought he was having a heart attack. We actually left. I went home after Studio Chatter, walked in, he was grabbing his heart. It manifested itself as a heart attack, but it took him 9 minutes to get there. And when you think that someone's having a heart attack,
It's a long
that's
time.
a long time. And I could hear the sirens,
Sirens.
and then it quit. I'm like, are they still coming? Because do I need to run outside? Like, he's crawling out the front door. Should I let him go? But yeah,
It
so
will be
Our
tremendous
city's
for our
growing,
city.
right?
Yes.
And it needs it.
Yeah, basically we will divide in half for the jurisdictional graph of which station will respond to which calls. So they
Okay.
basically pulled it from time responses and did the best for each station. So
Okay.
that we'll come out of one station if it's closer, or the bottom station if it's.
So as part of your responsibility scheduling, like, do you have to take on some of that? So is this your
Yes.
full-time gig now?
I'm not full time yet, hoping.
Okay.
But
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
close, we hope. Right?
Awesome.
Yeah. So
Well, thank you for educating
yeah,
us.
Yeah,
I know,
but
I
we're
feel
just
like we could go
part-time,
on and
but-
on
I
with
know.
this.
I know. We're going to come and visit you.
yeah,
This is super
2021
cool.
for you guys is going to be awesome. So good luck.
Yep.
Thank
Yeah.
you. We're really grateful. We're grateful for a super awesome city council, and our officials here are amazing. So we're
Well,
super
we're
lucky.
thankful
We're
for
blessed.
you. Good
Very
luck.
good. Thank
Thank you.
Take care.
Coming up next, getting older doesn't mean that you need to slow down. Stay with us to learn more on Studio Chatter. Welcome back to Studio Chatter. This topic is for you seniors out there. As the new year begins, let's talk about how to keep healthy and active. There's no reason to slow down. Welcome Devin Shaw from the Wellness Bridge Group to the program. Welcome.
Hi,
Welcome,
Devin.
Hi guys, good to be here.
So the Wellness Bridge, what was the motivation to start the Wellness Bridge?
Okay, the motivation was, now I'm going to get teary.
Okay.
Now we're going to get started.
That's what we do.
We lost our daughter, Catherine, 3.5 years ago in a car accident, and I made a promise to her before she passed. We had just a few hours with her in the hospital to make a difference. So this is us trying to fulfill that promise and commitment to her.
Okay.
She was a beautiful soul, so that's a really great gift to give back to her. And so what focused you towards like the senior well-being?
Well, we've done a lot of things in Catherine's name. We do a scholarship every year to the drill team at Maple Mountain, and all my girls danced at Maple Mountain. And then we started a gym just because we wanted to have an outreach. The young man that hit and killed my daughter was a troubled youth, 17, and And I just felt like we needed to do something, reach out for some of the youth that really may not have the best home life and get sidetracked on drugs and kind of lose themselves. And so that was the beginning of the Wellness Bridge. It was the Sports Performance Academy over by Coin Crazy. And after about a year or so of, and I'm an old football coach, so I love the youth. I love all the things we do there for those young people. But I just really started feeling, and it just kind of came to me that we need to do something more for our seniors. And so the Wellness Bridge is that idea of being able to do something amazing for our seniors. And we've been doing this, a lot of research for over a year. We've put a medical advisory board together made up of neuropsychologists, PTs, OTs. We even have Mike over who owns the Maple Mountain Pharmacy, who owns several pharmacies, in an effort to use natural compounds rather than using prescriptions and the things that sometimes really counterintuitive and it counters our health. And the body's an amazing thing. And I hope we have a chance to talk about the brain because we're very big on cognitive health. I have learned so much, and I'm the poster child for everyone that needs to be thinking about their cognitive health. It's in our mid 50s that we kind of can slow down, and we get in 60s, 70s. Like my mom, for example, she was in her 70s, slipped and fell, had just a horrendous situation with her leg. Had to put a what do they call it?
Like a stent or
like the bar,
the titanium
Oh, wow.
in her leg. And she did her therapy like, we all do, but after the therapy ends in a month or two or the insurance money runs out, it's painful. Therapy is not fun.
Right.
And so those great physical therapists and occupational therapists, they only can work with these patients for X amount of period of time. And in talking with a lot of the medical community, they're frustrated because they can only see a patient for, like the neuropsychologists that we work with. They said, Devin, I have 10 to 15 minutes to help them understand why their brain is in decline and why they can't remember, and pre-dementia or Alzheimer's and all these crazy
and
hard
then you just
things.
send them on their way after you give them like 10 minutes of information, right?
Exactly.
And then how do they implement that?
Exactly, and that is what Wellness Bridge is all about, is a medically based, results driven program for our seniors. So what it looks like is 3 times a week, we meet for a little over an hour, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and we have everybody come in, and we do some cognitive activities. We do a lot of it's exercise. What I have learned, and this is the science of the brain, and it's so important. Just like when we go see a dentist. Why do we go see a dentist? Because we don't want dentures or lose our teeth when we get older, right? The brain is an amazing part of our body, and as we get older, and this is what happened to my mom. Getting back to my mom, sorry, get on a tangent here. She basically sat at home for 3 or 4 years, and she just fell off a cliff cognitively, physically. She started shaking. And it was because she wasn't exercising because it hurt to exercise. She wasn't really eating the best because none of us really can always do better at eating, and so she wasn't sleeping very well. And I want you to remember an acronym, SAD. This is what the doctors have taught me. S stands for sleep. It is so important to get that deep REM sleep, because what happens is, as we become older and inactive, amyloid plaque builds up on the brain. And when we sleep, when we get that deep sleep, it like empties the trash out. A lot of those bad proteins, those toxic proteins called amyloid plaque, ADDLs, they basically are released out of the brain. So those toxic proteins that slow us down and help, is the cause of a lot of our forgetfulness and all this stuff. And it's preventable. That's the thing that I just want everyone to understand. Sleep, activity, and diet. Those three things. that acronym. If you will sleep well, you need to have 150 minutes a week of 80% of your max heart rate. And for everyone, based on their age and how in shape they are, that differs. So we have heart monitors that we have everybody wear when they're exercising, and we track this stuff. Every time we have a class, we have amazing trainers, personal trainers who have been trained by OTs, occupational therapists, ADLs, or ADLs, activities of daily living, how to strengthen our core so we can stand up without needing help. How do I build up my shoulders so we can reach up and grab something out of the cupboard. So all these little things, we've put together a program that helps us get 150 minutes of activity that we need a week. We teach every time we meet with our seniors. We do an education. We talk about some of this science, and it's just little bits and pieces. But after months and months, you start changing how you think about that soda that I'm
So when you meet it's Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Yep.
What time?
So right now it's at 10 o'clock, and then we're going to be doing after the first of the year, this new year, we'll be doing at 10 and 12.
So it'll be 2 hours or hour and a half?
Separate groups. We're growing, and we keep the numbers down to about 10.
10 individuals in each session. Okay.
And so we've had a lot of demand, and we'll probably be adding more and more classes.
Okay.
And each personal trainer who's been trained by our doctors, by our doctor advisory board, medical board, they also have an intern that works with them. And so basically, you're on a 1 to 4 or 5 basis.
That's really good.
And there's different tiers. Tier 1 is people, healthy, good, and we'll work you hard. But you got to get that 80% of your max heart rate and get that activity going. So important. And then tier 2, maybe someone's had a stroke or something and is having a hard time getting up and stuff. And then tier 3 is we have a gentleman that's 90, he just turned 93 as well, like we were talking about my mother-in-law. And he just had a stroke. But we love him but he's determined to come and he's determined to
Well, and I think it gives them a social. I look at my dad, he's had some surgery and lost my mother, and he's trying to get out there and walk and take care of himself, but I notice that he's lonely and doesn't have, we connect with him, but it's a different level. And so I think that that's important too, that they're there for each other and learning together with a friend or a buddy.
And it was funny when we had to shut down everything in the early spring because of Corona. Our seniors would call every day. Are you guys going to let us come? Like, no,
It's their thing to
the
get out
government
and
won't
do.
let us. But we were so very careful with that. Everyone, we encourage. We take their temperature. We, make sure our help, our staff has masks. We welcome them to wear masks. A lot of times it's hard to exercise and wear masks. So,
but you're probably distant.
Social distance. We've got. If you've been to the gym, we've got lots of. 6,000 square feet of room to maneuver. So, and the classes are small and very bespoke, very specialized.
So, Devin, we only have a minute left. How can anyone watching this? It's for 55 and older.
Yes.
How can they find you?
So the best thing to do is we have some advertising at Macy's on the carts and also at Smith's over in Springville. But to kind of, if you're interested, call us, and the number is 801-794-5362. Call us or go to our website, wellnessbridgegroup.com.
Okay.
And then all you'll do is we'll schedule an assessment. So we do a cognitive assessment, and we do some physical assessments, to measure where you're at. And then we give you a free week to try out the classes. And if you're concerned about anything, have your caregivers, have your sons, daughters, anyone, spouses, we have a gentleman that comes and takes his wife every time. Like, I always get on him, like, why aren't you joining? Well, I'm just fine. Man, we're stubborn. But it's just so much fun, and it's such a great thing for the public.
I love this. Thank you. There's a lot of educational and information and fitness all wrapped up in one.
Yeah, remember SAD, S-A-D.
Yes.
Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you, Devin.
Thank you so
pleasure.
much. All right, coming up next, one of our favorite guests of all time will join us, and her name is Connie. Stay with us on Studio Chatter. Welcome back to Studio Chatter. There is no better time than the first of the year to talk with our next guest. We know her and we love her. Welcome Connie Sokol to the Chatter.
Hello.
Welcome, Connie.
It says to talk to you, but we just want you to talk to us.
Okay, I should fix up some brownies. Girls, let's chat.
Yes, lean in and give us the good Connieisms that
we
we
need
just
2021.
love.
We need some
so
something
sweet.
to get us going.
I just want to say congrats to all of us that we made it through 2020
That's
with a
true.
collective
Pat yourself on the back.
like high five, high five.
Yeah.
Yes,
It
we
really
did
was a year like everyone says that it's hard, but it really was like we were constantly having to like transition into something new and something new and lots of anxieties and
a lot of adjusting. I was talking sea legs. We had to constantly get our sea legs and kind of pivot and change and all of these adjusting words. But you're talking to a Pollyanna because seriously, I know I saw so many good things happen. It's so true that if you want to break out of the cocoon, you have to have that thing, that catalyst that puts you out there and goes, I'm out of that regular zone. I'm out of the regular routine and the daily trenches. And it keeps you kind of going like this, and you have to change the dance. You have to say, do I still like this? Do I still want to be like this? And I think on a large scale, everybody had to reassess, get back to the nubs and go,
questions.
yeah, what
It's
is it?
really
What's
true.
really meaningful to me? And do I want to change anything for reals? Not just New Year's resolution kind of 2 weeks, but really, what do I need to shift? I think it's fabulous.
Right, and I think it gave us like permission almost with all the changes to say, hey, I'm actually liking how we're doing this better. I'm going to roll with this a little bit. Like it gave us permission to change.
Absolutely.
New permission and new perspective.
Yeah.
Like, what could I do different? What could I do better? What
Do I like what I've been doing?
Like people were okay because
yes.
there was so much change going on that it's been a good time for that as well.
And you get a pass. I mean, a lot of women are that I talk to and work with, they just are so afraid of making mistakes. A lot of this toxic perfectionism.
Yes.
And it kind of gave everyone a pass. If you didn't show up with whatever, you didn't have it, everyone just kind of went, yeah, COVID. 2020 was the mulligan year. Like, oh yeah, okay, that's what it is. So like
So
everybody
true.
kind of gave each other a pass that was so needed.
Wouldn't that be nice to move forward forever to give each other a pass?
Exactly. How do we keep it?
Yeah.
And I think that's when I'm talking to people, they're kind of asking those questions of new breath, new year, but how do I keep the learning from 2020 and the good pieces and the slower pace but still move forward and not be in this. A lot of women I talk to are kind of in limbo. Like, I don't want to commit to anything because I don't know what's coming next. And now I feel this sort of ascension mode of people kind of being like, okay, I'm ready to be intentional. I'm ready to choose something.
Is that like your rumble that you're talking about?
Yes.
One of your points?
That is listen to the rumble. And across the board, women independent of each other that I'm talking to or meeting, and they're saying, I'm feeling this something, like something rumbling inside me, and I don't know what it is exactly, but I'm feeling to do something or be more, or not faster, not busier at all, but just more meaning and more depth, or keep focusing on what matters most, being a woman, wife, mother, aunt, sister, whatever, and add on this other thing of how can I help more? I've seen more needs and I want to be more effective in sharing something, but I don't know how to do that. So that's
I
the
agree.
definite first thing. Listen to the rumble, because what we do as women, you probably felt this, but you're going, you're doing homework, it's online schooling, and you're a deal a meal at dinner, and you're going and doing, but you're feeling this thing that's kind of calling to you. Okay, frozen moment. But anyway, it's calling to you, and you're kind of like, no, I don't have time for this. Do I have time for this? But it will not let you alone. There's, in those quiet moments, you're feeling this, I can be of use and I don't know what that looks like.
So then what's the next
so what do we
question
do?
is,
Right.
okay, what if you feel the rumble and it's only a rumble and you don't know what the rumble is? Because oftentimes you think, I know what it is, but what if it's just like, I can feel a shift? Just be open to it?
Absolutely. open a space to welcome it, embrace it, get curious, get a discover kind of feeling, this discovery motive. I wonder what that is. Do not shut it down. I don't have time for this. We don't have time, money. We don't have whatever. I don't think that's okay for me to do. But just open yourself up to it. And I so encourage women to do the angel mode, where they just go on their bed and just go, and then just close their eyes. Don't think about organizing your purse or your grocery list or all that stuff. You just lay down and just take some deep breaths, 4x4 breathing. Just breathe in for 4 counts, hold for 4 counts, let go for 4, and then another 4. And just kind of lay there. And then if you can, have a sticky notepad right next to you and just write down some buzzwords. Don't sit up and write a whole essay. Just sit down and just write some buzzwords that come to mind. This is so powerful, because as you open the door and let yourself start to feel it, you'll start thinking of a few things. You'll start thinking of life experiences that you've had that were meaningful, that you're like, I felt so happy when I did that, or when I experienced that, or when I helped someone with that. Or you'll think of talents and abilities that you maybe haven't thought of in a long time. And you'll be like, I remember when I used to love to do that. I remember how I used to volunteer for such and such. And these ideas and thoughts will start coming, and I call it the velcro principle. You just start velcroing them. You just start putting them on, maybe post-it notes on a little board. I even encourage women to get a little cardboard thing, like those little cardboard placemat things you get in a little packet. And you just start putting sticky notes on of different words that come to mind. And just over days and weeks, just keep putting those sticky notes on. See what starts to come.
So Connie, can I ask you, like for me, I've noticed in those times, outside influences, whether it's going to lunch with a girlfriend, chatting with my kids or my mom, just being with other people, and it leads a conversation or direction or opens up something. I think that that's powerful, women supporting or needing other women. And it's just like, that was just lunch with someone I hadn't seen with.
But totally change your perspective a little bit.
It shifted my thought process so much that led me down a path for a couple months that solidified something, but all it was lunch.
Oh my gosh.
Does that make sense?
That is a beautiful, we should put that on a pillow. All it was lunch. Lunch for women, lunch for women is therapy, it's connection, it's workout, it's joy, it is culinary delight. It is everything for women. It is our 21st century washing wall, where we get together and just in the sharing, women are wired for synergy and sharing and connectivity. And as we engage in that, then it's the 1 + 1 = 642 principle, where you're sharing some things, and then that's a catalyst, and then that makes a connection, and that connects, and then suddenly you're like, I had never thought of it that way. Susan G. Madsen, if you're familiar with her, she's a global scholar for women, all about women's studies and all of those things and the impact of women. And she says it takes about 3 taps on the shoulder. It takes a tap and then another tap for someone to go, you would be really good at. Do you know, we would love for you to help us with. I've noticed you're so good at XYZ. Would you mind just helping out a little bit with that? And we start going, oh, something that seems so normal, so whatever, but this rumble combines with this talents and abilities, and you start to open up to possibilities.
Those 3 taps actually happened to me, Connie, when I
do tell.
With City Council. I had those rumblings. I was doing other things. I was super involved. Busy year, probably one of my busiest years of my life. But then some people were tapping me. 3. Have you thought about running for City Council? Why, no. Well, maybe a little, but this is just a thought. And who am I? And then someone else next week. Have you thought about putting your name in for City Council? Really? Again, 3 people. Women need that.
Yes, they
need.
do.
We need
like,
validation and taps. I think we do, because we don't feel as capable, maybe, to take on those bigger roles. I don't know.
Even those
or to
studies
step outside of our comfort zone.
That's exactly it. It's stepping outside and having that confidence to say, I have the skills, or I will get them in the doing. And that's, again, that toxic perfectionism, or maybe it's they're not getting a lot of support from people who are close to them that are saying, yeah, you really should do that. If they're not, if they're dealing with those 2 things, it makes it hard for a woman to move forward. But even those studies show that women are generally over-prepared for whatever it is that they would want to take on, and men consider themselves to be prepared, but they're generally underprepared. But what they have, and we can totally learn from, and I love learning from them, is this bravado, this, I can do this.
I can do it.
I can totally go. Sheryl Sandberg talks about.
Instead we overthink it and process it.
Exactly.
Then talk ourselves down.
Yes.
That's
we're like, no, we
exactly
can't.
it. And before you know it, you're like, no, I could never do that. Where's the brownies, right? Yeah, that's exactly it. I love that you bring up that point, and that you listened to those 3 taps and you took that momentum, that
leap of
action.
Faith,
That leap of faith.
Yeah.
Love. And that's
Rumbles.
listening to the rumble. So anybody watching, if they're feeling that rumble, it is so wise to really find 5 minutes of stillness and just really explore, why am I feeling that? What does this relate to? What experiences that I have that are leading me to feel this way? I have a free download if you're interested, ConnieSokol.com, and it's a mini life plan and a find your purpose exercise that helps you sort of brainstorm and then kind of funnel down really easy, simple steps, but can help people if they're in that place that they're like, well, I don't know, and that kind of gives you a guide.
And I want to say we're talking big things like
Right.
run for city council or whatever, but there's also those times in life where the rumbles are, let's just be a mom or a grandma. And it's not just be that, because to me, those are the biggest things we can be.
But do I change from working full-time to maybe going part-time?
Right.
Or
do I
work?
When I was in my 20s, I wanted to have all these things, but yet most important, I wanted to be at home. So I listened to the rumble of, now is your time at home. So those are all important. So it doesn't have to be grandiose and showy. It can be in the walls of your own home.
Could be next steps.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. I think that's the major thing that at least I teach women, but I'm finding that people are kind of coming back to. It seemed like in the last 20 years, women felt like they needed to find fulfillment outside the home, 30, 40 years, of find kind of this parallel tracks. I have to be either or, right?
Yeah.
And that's not the case. I think women and people generally speaking around the world, relationships matter the most. So we are going to be the happiest, the most fulfilled when we put our energy into those most important relationships. So I always talk about being a mom, and we have to keep our home fires burning and those relationships being nurtured. And we can also take the talents and abilities we have and wisely use them. And that's the beauty. I don't know if you've been hearing anything about this, but this feminine manner, this feminine power, so to speak, of there's a feminine way of doing things. And we've had a lot of, I call it feminine energy, but this masculine energy, which is beautiful and it's wonderful and it's a needed part, it's been a lot of masculine energy. It's hustle, it's let's go, let's make results, it's really driven. But this feminine energy that comes in to complete this, it completes it, but comes in to complete it, it's this grace and ease and flow and how are you doing and how can I help you feel a need and connection. So we add those two together and we can pivot to whatever is needed for a situation. This is what's so important for women to understand. We actually can do more with less, because we have connections, we have synergy with other women. So we can actually say, you know what, I feel to do this, but we don't have to do a 5-step plan like a man does. We can say, I can do it like this, and I can pull in so-and-so, and my friend does this, and I can take her kids while she takes mine, and we make it an experience, not just what we need to do.
Hold that thought. True. We need to sharpen our pencils, so hold on. More with Connie coming right up. Stay with us. Welcome back. Let's get back to the fun. Okay, so there's one thing that I keep thinking about when you're talking about what the difference between men and women. I keep thinking about fighter pilots and how they say why men are better fighter pilots, because they can focus. They can focus that one mission. They just go, and that's their mission. And women are multitaskers. And they can think about what's on the stove and where the kids need to be and all these things. And they just have all these things going on at the same time. And even you planning things with, Booster Club, women just accomplish things so different.
Multitask to the max.
Yeah.
Yep. What's interesting about that is, and again, I love learning from each gender. There's pros and cons to both. There's studies that are coming out now are actually showing how damaging multitasking is to our health, our cognitive ability, it raises our cortisol level, it decreases brain function. But I think it also depends on the kind of multitasking. So when you're vacuuming, it's something that you're doing, you've done it a bazillion times, so you can think and layer and you can really be aware. I think, my personal opinion, women, especially moms, are given that sort of radar, sixth sense that we know and hum with what's going on. I'm not talking about that multitasking. I'm talking about, I need to fold the laundry while I'm watching the show, while I'm talking about it, and I've got it. I'm talking about that kind, where it's stressful and we're trying to accomplish.
From all of it. I find myself doing that sometimes, and then folding the laundry, think of something else. Squirrel all over the place to where I don't accomplish much.
Exactly, and then you lose the fulfillment. So you're doing all the treadmill thing without getting all the benefits, right? And that's what I encourage women to do, is learn how to focus down. There's a beautiful talk by Bonnie Cordon. She talks about this experience she had with the flashlight, and she was trying to direct somebody and have them follow, and the flashlight's going all over. And she was saying, in sharing ourselves and in sharing good in the world, it's good to wave your flashlight. It's good to have a light, but it's better to focus it down. So I love the concept of focus your flashlight, because as women learn from men how to focus down, we get more done. 500% more productive is what studies say. We focus down, we get more done, and we get actually, like you said, more connection and fulfillment to what we're doing. And we actually make better choices for other things because we start seeing better ways to do it. Quicker, better, faster. That we skip steps that we would have thought, I've got to do X, Y, da, 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 da. Instead, we're present, and that's what women do so beautifully. When we're present, we're connecting, we're touching hands, we're being there. So many connections are being made in our brains and in our hearts that it's a fulfilling experience again, that word again. So focusing our flashlight, and we actually get more results. There was a gal I was working with, and she had this book she had started to write, and it was a really amazing experience she had with her son who got kidnapped, and it was crazy. Anyway, so she wanted to write it, but she's being a mom, she's doing all these things, and she wasn't able to focus down. And so I worked with her. I taught her skills and taught her some things about writing and things like that. And she was able to focus down. She was writing as a mom, focus her time, get her bum in the seat, get this, all the things that she needed to do. She got it, wrote it, got it published, and a bestseller. So this thing that she thought, well, I'm either going to have to wait till I'm not a mom anymore, or I got to do it while I'm doing 52 other things. She was still able to be woman, wife, mother, sister, and still be able to chunk it by learning how to train herself to focus down on small increments to get it done. And that's opened up all these other doors. So
I love that you can help people.
It's so fun.
Figure all of that out, Connie.
It's so fun.
I think it's interesting that you say all those things and, because the training, you can't do it all. Like you have to let some things go,
Absolutely.
which is super, super difficult. I think some things must be difficult for everyone, but for me, I know that it's very difficult for me to let some of those things go because you want all of those things. The check,
feeling
and
capable of so many things.
Right.
And which one do I not share or do I not do?
Which one do you not do?
Yeah.
And I think women, when we come to a place when we just embrace the fact that we are not in charge of getting everything done, we're not, and the world will still turn. I think when we can actually come and own that, come to that place of embracing that, our lives immediately get better. That we don't feel this weight on our shoulders of I have to go through all that stuff on my to-do list, plus do all the relationship things, plus do all the connected things. We can pull it down and go, what are the priorities today? And I talk about 5-finger living. I talk about 5-finger priorities, 5-finger personals. And if every day we are just doing those, I do something every day for God, myself, my family, my ministering, and the business that I do with helping women. And if I do one thing in each of those things every day, I'm fulfilled. I'm good. And I know everything else is okay. It's going to be all right.
Awesome.
But I think it's a life skill. And it doesn't take a lot of training. It just takes a few key pieces, and we turn the cog. And I watch women just get that light bulb and they go, oh, I get it. I get how to organize my life. I get how to do this and be able to be fulfilled with these few things and stay focused.
Love that. So Connie, you talked about the rumble.
Listen
and
to the
then
rumble.
the flashlight honing in. What's the third?
The third step is take a bold step. And this is where women will feel the rumble, will acknowledge it, and in our good moments we'll be like, I can do this. I can focus the flashlight, okay. And then we turn around and we go, go to the fridge.
I'm like, I'm okay by the fire.
That's right. I'm reading a good book. Or you're like, I'll just go put in a load of wash first, right? And so then you get distracted. This take a bold step. Another thing that women do is that Marianne Williamson quote where, who are you not to shine so bright? We start feeling like, well, I don't know if it's okay for me to do that. And I don't know if I want to be, shine. And we start to second guess what we're to do. And then that opens a whole Pandora's box. Well, I don't have the skill on comparison and all of these things. When we can just pull it back to one bold step, just one. That's all we have to take, just one bold step. And maybe it's a phone call, maybe it's going to lunch with a friend that you're like, I love what you do. How do you do it? I did that with a friend of mine and I was like, I don't even know what you do, but I want to lose weight and I know that you do something that's really healthy and good and normal and what is it?
Yeah.
So we connected, I lost 30 pounds, it was great. And then later, a few months later, I was like, I think she needs to work with me. What? So I call her and I'm like, I don't know what you do again, but hey, I think she's like, absolutely want to work with you. I didn't know 3 years ago, 3 years before that, she had put it on her life board that I had taught her to make in a class that she wanted to work with me. I had no idea. So I just want you to know, when we take a bold step, a door opens, a window, something happens, and it's the experience, it's the journey. It's not the end result. It's not, I'm going to be global and have 250,000 followers and blah, blah, and sell soap. It's not that. Wow. It's that, I call it this divine download, this calling that we feel to do as women. And when we feel it and we answer that call, then I believe God makes the way. I've seen it so many times with women, and they open the door and they go, oh, I didn't know that I could do this, and I didn't know it could be so simple and so helped. Like, I would be so partnered in doing it. And I think if anything that women can take away from this is that if you're feeling the rumble, He's already prepared a way. Whatever your belief system is, there's already a way prepared, and you don't have to fear it. It's a journey of joy and expansion and discovery, and you're going to be teaching your family all the way along to take faithful steps and overcome fear and deal with the difficulties and the disappointments, and you're going to show them how to do it as the mom and the woman. It's just so beautiful. It's a beautiful process if we'll embrace it. So.
Me and my daughter call it when it comes naturally, when there's not a lot of bumps and stuff, when it naturally starts to like flow out. If it's a lot of abrasiveness, we sometimes think, I think that's the wrong road. Go down it. If it feels abrasive, then maybe that's not the right direction. Tweak it a little bit. But I feel like when it's meant to happen, it just starts to roll out. Like you said, connections start to happen, tapping starts to come.
And you get the help. And that doesn't mean you're not going to have bumps in the road. That's growth. But I love, Jeffrey R. Holland has this talk and this little film clip where him and his son are in a pickup and they're in the desert and they're trying to figure out which road they go down, and they both feel good about going down this one road, and then it comes to a dead end right away. And they go, I'm like, what happened? Why do we feel that way? And he said something so profound that I stick to. He said, maybe so that we would know for a surety that was the wrong road.
I love
that. And the learning. Ladies, we've got to value the learning, the joy,
it's okay
the
to make a mistake or to do something that was off and like, oh, okay, well, that one didn't work, but let's do it again.
Learning. Exactly, because we don't know, again, and I love scripture, so I call it the Joseph of Egypt principle. He did not know that he was going to need to know how it was in this Potiphar's house and then in the jail, and how it was preparing him all the way along for where he ended up being, where he was supposed to be. So we don't have to look at it as a failure or that was a disappointment and that it's the end. It's a process, and it's a learning and a growth, and it's and then you get to have the joy and the learning all the way along and share it together. Again, as women, that's where groups and masterminds and programs and things that we gather together, oh my gosh, I've seen women just go with so little that they've brought in, their widow's mite, and then boom, and they're able to go home, do dinner, and they're right there for their kids. It is amazing. It is miraculous to me. It's beautiful.
You are amazing. Such a joy. We adore you. Thank you for helping us into the new year.
We'll share all your information so people can find you if they are looking for some guidance.
ConnieSokol.com, got lots of free stuff, great stuff to share.
Thanks, Connie.
Thanks so much. There's more studio chatter coming up. Welcome back to Studio Chatter. Okay, what did we learn for the start of the new year?
That was
something in my teeth?
I know, we've been eating.
It was a great show.
And wrapping up with Connie always is just so uplifting
fulfilling.
and inspiring.
I know. I walk away feeling like I can do something greater, something more.
Yeah, and whatever
having
my
confidence in
rumble
myself
is okay.
Right.
It's going to be totally different than yours and yours, and whatever mine is, it's okay.
She's super motivating. She's always a great speaker to have going into the new year because she just makes you feel like even coming out of even out of a pandemic, yucky year, that you can walk into the new year and just...
Well, satisfies that we've had a hard year and a rough year, and that's okay, and we can move on, and
we made
it through.
The good.
She does.
I love how she said, I'm Pollyanna, because she is, and always so positive and uplifting.
It's true.
Yeah. And salsa madre. Pete, our producer, went and picked up some salsa.
Thank you, Pete.
Yes.
It is delicious.
They are now open for business. So if you haven't stopped by, make sure that you do. And if we're lucky enough, they might be in studio.
And whoever left me some on Christmas Eve, thank you very much. I got on my porch without like a little tag, so thank you.
The elves. Well, and I'm sure a lot of our viewers are familiar with salsa madre from the farmer's market. So she has a storefront over by In-N-Out and Tips and Toes. Is that what it's called?
Just across the way.
Yep.
We had some pork tamales over Christmas.
Ooh.
So they do more than just salsa there.
Oh, yes, yeah. So hopefully, like I said,
And is it all just run in
here.
and take it out, or is there a sit down and eat?
No, I think it's all to go. So you
Okay.
can get the taco kits and the pork tamales, and then she'll have the salsa
Ooh, I should
and the
maybe do that.
chips.
Pork tamales.
That sounds
yum.
yummy.
And chicken tamales. So
Okay.
if we're lucky enough, we'll get Miriam in here to talk about it in the coming
Yum, yum.
weeks. So
Well, and if I'm
very
lucky, I'll
good.
get my mom down to the Wellness Bridge program. I love that.
That was
I think,
incredible, right?
Yeah, I love that there's so many professionals coming in together to help the 55 plus.
Yeah, I agree. And I think now that we're seeing our aging parents, how important that is that we're still like helping them transfer from like being so active to not just falling off the cliff,
Yeah,
like he was saying.
Yeah, I
Yep.
like that. That's true.
And how important sleep is. Sad, right? Sleep, activeness, and diet.
Yep. And we asked him off air, like, hey, sleep. And he just said, just go for a natural aid, like melatonin, maybe some lavender. But that's super important to get that in.
But it's so important to sleep that it's important that maybe
Do you
to
guys
take a
both sleep
little.
good?
Oh, yes.
Okay, I do too.
I feel like I just crashed. Like
Okay,
that.
so
We're doing just
Watching a
fine in
movie,
that
out.
department, right?
Yep.
Right.
As of for now, we're good.
oh, that's good.
Yeah, so that's really neat.
Well, I mean, I think if you reflect on it just yourself, I know how I feel when I don't exercise, or when I don't get enough rest, or when I'm not eating properly. I mean, I think all of those things really go hand in hand.
Start to feel
And then when
sluggish and gross.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then when you add that to when you're aging a bit and your cognitive skills, I mean, it all makes sense. And they say that if you even for aging adults to do crossword puzzles or just to have those active conversations
Right.
to keep your mind stimulated, and I think it's an awesome program.
Okay, we need to come up with a different acronym. As I'm thinking about it, SAD.
Yeah, because that
That's
makes
a-
me feel
that's a
sad.
sad acronym.
Maybe DAS.
Maybe backwards, change it up a little bit.
Something we need to, SAD. We'll be
Nutrition.
sad
Maybe
if we
they
don't-
could be
Don't,
SAN.
or don't be sad.
Be SAN. And just change it to nutrition instead of diet.
There you go.
Okay, we'll tell them that
SAN.
next time, Devin.
And how exciting for the new fire station.
No, we need to take a tour. And they maybe will put in a poll for you sometime.
There's no second story, so there's nowhere to go down.
I guess
Is that
not.
the
Well,
reason
maybe-
why they have it? Just is because
And I think
most of
because
them
a
are
lot of like the
two-story?
movies, like let's say they're in New York and
Right.
it's more,
But we
their
have
space
land and
is-
space here. Okay.
They
All
have to
right.
go
Is that
up,
where
and
the
so they
living
have to-
quarters were? And
Yeah.
then they'd come down the
down.
poles.
Right. So I
Okay.
think that's it.
But it's gorgeous,
didn't
and I'm
know any
excited
better.
for them.
It's beautiful. Well, ladies, we're going into a new year.
Okay.
With high hopes.
High hopes. Do you have a word? Did you think about it through this whole
No,
episode?
I've really got to think about it.
Okay. Natasha?
No word yet. And not necessarily, I don't even love to call them resolutions, but I know as I've just been kind of breaking things down from after the holiday and recreating our space,
Right.
maybe I'll have a new mantra also.
Okay.
But I am into redesign right now, so
I am too.
Refreshing, maybe. I want to refreshen our space and our ideas.
And we're all kind of in that, right?
I know, we
Like
are.
this
It's like a
upcoming year, we all have like
refresh. Yeah.
refresh. Maybe that's what it is.
Maybe something like
Refresh
that.
and
We've been in the
our
home so much
space,
the last 9 months that
ideas.
we need it looking different.
Okay.
Good luck.
Refreshing ourselves.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, ladies.
Happy
Love you.
New Year. Thanks for being here with us. We hope you enjoyed the chatter. Be sure to tell some friends about us and stay safe.
And now take a bite of your chip.